Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another certified fresh TFL buddy review. And for this review, of course, I need a buddy. So, buddy.
Certified fresh, we're like bananas.
Yes, we are. So what cars are we reviewing today, Tommy?
We've got the 2020 Mazda CX-5 and the Hyundai Santa Fe.
Yep, and in this buddy review, we're going to take them for a ride. We're going to find out how fast they are in real world terms from 0 to 60. We're going to see how quiet or not they are, and we're going to go try to find snarfs and have lunch.
That's right, but not eat lunch because that would be bad video.
Yes, and starting right now, Tommy, I want to ask you, can you tell them apart?
Yeah, one of them's gray.
Yep, that's right. It's hard to tell them apart. But let's jump in the Mazda CX-5 first, and let's start as always with the outside of it. I'll let you go.
Absolutely. Now the CX-5 is, in my opinion, the best looking car in the segment, and this is a hot segment. We're talking vehicles like the Toyota RAV4, the Honda CR-V, and of course, that Hyundai Santa Fe. But the Mazda CX-5 is gorgeous. Mazda is definitely going for more of a premium look with this vehicle. First of all, let's start with these grills. Almost aircraft inspired with these little points, and then your floating Mazda badge, gently outlined in this chrome trim. It's a very elegant design. You've got nice upgraded headlights on this signature trim. This is the top end model as well. Let's take a look down here at the wheels. Kind of an interesting gray on gray look. 19-inch wheels on this CX-5. A little bit of cladding down the side, not too much. Some of the new Mazda crossovers like the CX-30 are covered in black. This one is pretty elegant. And then we get to the rear with these awesome looking taillights. It almost looks a little bit Alfa Romeo to me back here. CX-5 signature badging. Now let's talk about the storage capacity. If you fold the second row down in the CX-5, you have a maximum capacity of about 60 cubic feet. In the rear here, we've got our space saver spare tire, some tools, and then we actually have a couple different ways we can fold the seats down. We can do it here, or we can even potentially do it there, and that would fold flat if the front seat was moved forward. So storage capacity is all right.
You know, Tommy, as always, at the end of this video, we're going to let you guys know whether you should buy them, lease them, rent them, or forget them. And let's talk about back seat room, because let's face it, these are family haulers. And I've got this back seat set up where I sit for myself. So let's see how much room I have. I'm 6'2", and let's see if there's enough leg room and headroom. Yeah. I've got plenty of headroom, but yeah, it's tight back here. Certainly not a lot of room. Let's look at what's under the hood. I'll pop it open, and you want to tell them?
Wow. This is a 2.5 liter Sky Active G turbocharged engine. Mazda actually lists two different power numbers. So on regular 87 octane fuel, they say 227 horsepower. On premium 93 octane fuel, they say 250 horsepower. Torque is a maximum of 320 on premium. These are some huge numbers, mated to a 6-speed automatic and all-wheel drive.
Well, let's find out, Tommy, what those numbers mean in the real world when we take it from 0 to 60 on our test loop. All right, Tommy, before we talk about the interior, how much does this CX-5 cost? What's the Maroni saying? What's the fuel economy?
Yep, so the final MSRP on this guy is $38,925. 24 MPG combined, 22 city, 27 highway.
I think it's important to stress that both the Santa Fe and the CX-5 aren't the best sellers, right? The best seller by far is the Toyota RAV4. It sells about 450,000 units. That's how many they sold last year.
Yeah.
This sold about 150,000 units, which is still a lot. And the Santa Fe behind us sold 125,000 units. But compared to the Toyota and the CR-V, they're relatively in the minor leagues.
So let's talk about the interior here. First of all, the infotainment screen. 8-inch screen, and hang on, stop for a sec. I want to point out something really weird. It's touchscreen when you're stopped, right? And now we can go. But all of a sudden, once you start driving along, the touchscreen capability ceases to exist, and you have to use this rotary knob down here. And when you use the rotary knob, this is one of the worst systems in the industry. It's a little better than what I found in the CX-30, but quite honestly, it still is just very hard to use, very confusing. If this was my choice, I would just run it on Apple CarPlay all day long.
Yeah, you know, Mazda has this design culture that says that the car and the driver should be like horse and rider combined, right? And what that means is that the two should work together harmoniously, giving you the perfect driving experience. And I think in the segment, this has the best handling and the best driving qualities of all those vehicles that we talked about.
Horse and rider sounds like a lot of marketing terms, Dad.
No, I think it's real.
In terms of the interior quality, I think this is top notch, but let's see what it does 0 to 60. So I'm gonna put you into sport mode here.
Thank you. And I'm going to merge onto this highway, so I'm going to come to a stop, and then I'm going to give it the beans, and we'll see how fast it is accelerating onto the highway. This is real-world testing, a mile above sea level. There are 3 of us in this vehicle, so it's going to be a little bit slower. Here we go. Floored. Ooh,
Wow,
good.
that goes pretty good.
Yeah, that's lively.
You know, it doesn't rev very high. Full throttle in sport mode,
And it's 60.
it'll shift about 5,500 RPM, so it's a very low revving motor. But even with 3 of us in here at close to a mile above sea level, 8.220 to 60, it's a very respectable time.
How quiet or not is it?
Well, let's take a look.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Okay, that's the speed limit, about 60 miles an hour. Hovering about 62 decibels, that is incredible. That is, and I'll take you out of sport mode, that actually might quiet it down just a little bit more.
Actually, if you want to get really quiet, try that.
Alright, ready?
Yeah.
I'll try it again. Yeah, now we're about 61 decibels, so incredibly quiet interior. You know, Mazda really is trying to shoot above its weight class with these vehicles, aiming more toward, you know, BMW and Audi levels of quality in here. And
Yeah.
certainly sound-wise, it accomplishes that.
Yeah, so what you have, you know, regular vehicles, and then you have premium vehicles, and then there's that space in between that Volvo has occupied for a long time, right?
Right.
Let's call it sub-premium or, I don't know, regular plus, right? And Mazda's trying to go from kind of the everyman car to the premium car. And I'm not sure they've succeeded. Are you hungry?
I am, so push in on the left button.
Okay.
Nope, that's the wrong button.
Hold on, let me make the turn safely here. That's the left button.
Nope, the left button above that button.
This one?
Yep. Navigate to Snarf's Sandwiches. Try it one more time.
Communication menu. Select an option.
Navigate to Snarf's Sandwiches. It's not really working.
No, it's telling you to go to West Winchester Circle
Let's
for
try
some
it
reason.
one more time.
Okay.
Say a command.
Navigate to Snarf's Sandwiches.
Yeah, once
This
again.
command is available only when a USB device containing audio files is inserted.
Just use Apple CarPlay and, you know, leave it at that. And use Google Maps or Apple Maps. This is not, once again, working. We have yet to find a car where it actually does work better than, you know, the phone makers can do.
Yeah, that's true. So what else can we talk about? Let's talk about the ride quality as we come up to this rough section of road.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the bumps to see how hard the hula girl dances, okay?
Yep.
Here we go. Hitting the bumps on purpose here. Here's a big one. Ooh.
Whoa.
1 being no dancing, 10 being she's hulaing her butt to the max. Which one do you think it is?
I'm gonna give her like a 6.
Yeah, she's doing quite a bit of hula dancing, but you know what? Even though it looks like she's dancing a lot, from the seat of my pant, I'm not feeling that much intrusive bump noise or impact coming through. How about you?
I'm feeling more than I think you're feeling.
Yeah.
This is a very sporty ride. I think the CX-5 is the sportiest in the segment, certainly more so than like the RAV4 or CRV. And in order to accomplish that, it feels like they firmed up the suspension a little bit more. But it's not, you know, it's not unbearable, and it certainly is not bad on long road trips. I think it's a little dark in here.
A little dark.
Yeah. Well,
Really? A little
Oh,
dark.
let the sun shine in here. I mean, so
Black on black on black.
no, there's some gray. There's some gray and some silver
There's a
here.
lot of black in it.
There's a red in the warning hazards. That's nice. No, I know what you mean.
Piano black, black leather, very dark gray, blackish wood.
Black stitching.
Black stitching. Yeah, come on, Mazda. Throw some color in here, for gosh sakes. Make this place look like, you know, someplace that I want to spend some time in. And the design is very elegant, but it's very elegant in, I would say, too much of an understated way. I'd like to see a little bit of color, a little bit of pizzazz. You know, heck, just throw in some script somewhere. CX-5, just to liven it up.
In terms of features, plenty of features. Heated seats, ventilated seats, adaptive cruise control, your usual suite of safety things. Heads-up display.
Yep, I got heads up.
This one has a Bose audio system. dual zone automatic climate control. It's got everything that you come to expect in even a luxury vehicle.
Yeah, I'd say my biggest issue with this vehicle right now is that these seats are a little bit on the firm side for, you know, this segment, and headroom is okay, but what's happened recently is that these cars have gotten much bigger, right? Remember the old CR-V, the very first generation? That thing was tiny.
Yeah, really small.
This is like, you know, Toyota Land Cruiser in comparison to that now.
Yeah.
And even that, it's small for this segment. So I think the much bigger vehicle is going to be the Santa Fe. And once again, I think the reason that this only sells, and I say only with air quotes, right, 150,000 units last year, is just because, you know, horse and rider as one is not something that your average mid-size crossover buyer is actually looking for.
Yeah, but I think I kind of disagree, because I think if you just go for the utilitarian crossover in this segment, you're going to get squished. You got to do something different, and that's what Mazda has done. And it's worked pretty well, except for the infotainment screen, which I still think is very poor.
Yeah, so in this segment, if you want to do something different, I'd say add a lot more room. We'll find that out in the Santa Fe.
Right.
Add a lot more luxury. Add a lot more comfort. You know, there's a lot of other things that you can do besides making it sporty.
Yep, that's right. Okay, well, let's hop in the Hyundai and see what the difference is.
All right, now that we've taken the Mazda for a ride, I need my helper again, Tommy. Let's talk about styling in the new Santa Fe. I'll leave it to you.
All right, so the 2020 Santa Fe has a totally different approach than the Mazda. The Mazda's going for elegant, swoopy curves. This is going for more of that shock factor. There's a lot of really interesting design elements that may not be as elegant in its total cohesion, but certainly are worth talking about. Take, for example, these headlights. They've gone for like the stacked headlight, daytime running light, turn signal look, made popular by the Jeep Cherokee, the Hyundai Kona, even the Pontiac Aztek. But this, of course, looks much better than I think all of those vehicles. It's a little bit more cohesive in its design. So this is bigger than the actual running light up top here. Overall, I do like this design. Plus, I like this kind of satin chrome look they've got going across the grille, and then a big, powerful statement here in the front. Let's talk about the wheels. Once again, the wheels on the Mazda are very elegant. This is more of the wow factor. Interesting design. This really screams Subaru Crosstrek to me, with kind of the dark inside and the polished look on the outside. 19-inch wheels. Some more black siding here down the side, but more of this kind of satin dark chrome look. And then in the rear, big old tail lights. In fact, the whole car just feels a lot bigger than the Mazda. And that's because it is so much bigger than the Mazda. It's over 8 inches longer, and it has a lot, I repeat, a lot more storage capacity. Immediately when you open up the trunk, look how huge it is. It's just positively massive. And take a look at the storage cubbies. So I've got one in the rear with your jack, and then look at this forward cubby. Holy cow, it's just huge. So we have, let me look up the number, but it's significantly more storage capacity in this vehicle. Do you want to talk about the rear seat while I look up the number?
And I just set the front seat to where I drive so that I can show you how much room there is in this back seat. Check this out, guys. Look at that. Plenty of headroom, plenty of leg room. I mean, we're no longer talking compact crossover. We're talking big ass crossover. And like I was saying, in this segment, I think that owners are looking for as much room as possible, right? Because if you're buying a crossover, you probably have a family, a dog, you know, a bunch of stuff that all of those things need.
So Mazda with the seats folded, 59.6 cubic feet of cargo capacity.
Yeah.
This one, over 71 cubic feet with the seats folded. So
Yeah.
big difference.
Let's look under the hood. We have, look at that, a turbo.
Turbo GDI, gas direct injected, 2-liter turbo. Less powerful than the Mazda, 235 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque, but still plenty to get this vehicle motivated. This, of course, is the top trim engine. Look, there's a little sticker here. SUV turbo. Thanks, Hyundai. I was wondering what this was. But there's also a base engine if you don't need the extra power.
You know what's unusual about this engine, Tommy? The previous generation, there was actually an optional engine that put out more power. Very rarely do you see a manufacturer dropping horsepower in a power plant, but Santa Fe did it, and it's probably because of fuel economy. So let's see what that is. All right, Tommy, let's look at the Monroney. What's the fuel economy and what's the cost of this vehicle?
So the total MSRP on this car, $40,430.
Yep.
So more expensive than the Mazda. And the fuel economy is worse. 22 combined, 20 city, 26 highway. But you do get more features for the price. First of all, the headliner in this car is brilliant. It's really cool. It's almost like this gray denim material. And take a look at the huge sunroof. We had kind of a smaller, just normal sunroof in the in the Mazda, not in this car. Oh geez.
What have you done, Tommy?
I really messed it up, Dad.
You broke it.
Well, I'm just gonna close it now. Anyways, you got to see how the operation works.
Open the thing.
Well, but you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Aha! There it is. Look at that beast. All the way over the second row. Huge sunroof.
Is that worth $2,000 more?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never used sunroof, but it is nice having all this light in here.
Yeah, it is.
Certainly easier for video. So interior-wise,
I think it's actually a nicer interior.
design's a lot more fussy. Usability is much better.
Yeah, but look, the Mazda was very straight, very elegant. This has a lot more actual design to it, right? It's not so minimalist. Once again, it's a sea of black. I'll give you that. But at least there's form and curves and kind of, you know, things happening versus just straight lines everywhere.
It's a little fussy.
Oh, I don't know.
Too much going on. This is interesting.
I think you're a little fussy, Tommy.
I am always a little fussy. That's true. Do you see this like cutout here?
It's cool.
This looks like the it's like the '67 Mustang had that like that dual binnacle.
Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of. No one's going to agree with me, but I think that's kind of an interesting design.
And also, I think Hyundai does one of the bigger and better screens in the business. You know, the infotainment systems in these vehicles are all over the place, but I do like Hyundai's. I think it's relatively straightforward and easy to navigate.
It's actually, screen size is the same as the Mazda 8-inch, but look at this!
Yep.
It's touchscreen on the move. This is probably one of, if not the best systems in the business. Sirius XM recording capability, so you can play it back. Oh, man.
Check this out. Watch. Look what happens when I do the turn signal. Look at that! How cool is that? I get my view from a camera that's mounted on that passenger side mirror. And it doesn't do it only for the right like the Honda does. It also does it for the left. So
All right.
It does both.
So let's go into sport mode.
Okay.
Come to a complete stop.
We'll do. Yep.
Okay,
Fine.
go for it.
Here we go. Merging on.
Gauges are now red. 20, 30.
That turbo is good up here at a mile above sea level.
Oh, it feels slower though.
Probably slower.
Oh yeah, much slower.
Yeah, 2 seconds slower.
10.31 to 60. So you definitely feel that extra size when you merge onto the highway. This feels a heck of a lot less sporty than the CX-5.
I gotta tell you, I love this camera in the mirror. I think that's a really cool feature. Honda first did it, but they only for some reason did it on the passenger side mirror. Hyundai took it to the next level, does it on both sides. It's really cool.
Okay, sound. Oh, now we gotta close this massive sunroof again.
Well, close it. It's gonna take a little bit. Let's play some closing the sunroof music.
Alright, there we go. Wow, just as quiet. So 61 or 62 decibels. Now we gotta open it up again.
Yes, we do. Because we want to let the sun shine in.
It's really giving the sunroof flap a
Look at
workout.
all the cool features I've got. A heated steering wheel.
I had that in the Mazda.
A heated and cooled seat.
I had that in the Mazda.
A heated and cooled?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, ventilated in the Mazda as well.
Wow. All right.
Yep. It's just that this is more buttons that are
Look at all
bigger.
these buttons. I've got hill descent control.
Yep, you do. You've got different drive modes. So
Yeah.
you've got not only sport mode like the Mazda, but you have a smart mode as well.
And I've got different cameras.
Yep, camera views as well. There's
Yeah.
your parking brake.
And I've got an appetite for a little bit of snarfs, Tommy. Shall we try?
Yep.
All right, this is so depressing. All right, you do it. I'll hit the button. You do it, okay?
Yep.
Please say a command.
Navigate to Snarf's Sandwiches. Got a good feeling about this. Here we go.
It's thinking.
Come on, baloney.
Come on, turkey.
20.
Ah,
It found it.
what a dream.
What a
You will be
dream.
guided to the first destination on the list.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
You know, we've been doing that now for, what, 2 years? And I
The
think
route guidance will start now.
Huge
Continue
success.
on current road for about 1 mile.
and only about, I'd say, maybe 5% of the cars can actually accomplish that using their internal navigation. So, congratulations, Santa Fe and Hyundai, you win today.
So, going over a rough road, and in terms of just kind of overall cabin layout, This feels like it was designed for Americans by Americans. And what I mean by that is this is very big, right? Everything is chunky, everything is big.
Are you saying it's XL or triple XL?
No, I'm not saying it's Nathan sized.
Oh,
but
sorry, Nathan.
It's more Andre sized. You know what I mean? It's just a like big boned in here, which is good.
I think it's Roman size. I think this is like an XL vehicle. It's not quite, you know, a triple XL would be like the new Suburban, right? That's a triple XL. Where you could fit me, Andre, and Nathan behind the third row. This is just an XL vehicle in its class. And I think it's why people like it, because you get a lot of room for, here's a hole, by the way, I just did. Here's another one. How's she dancing? Going over the rest of the
dancing more than I thought she would.
I'd give it like a 3. What do you think?
3?
4? Yeah, here's 4. All right, 4.
No.
4.
No, that's ridiculous. I'm going more like a 4.5.
All right. I think this rides a little bit better.
It's a little softer.
It's a little bit softer. It's not as well dampened, right? Not dampened, but dampened. It's hard to say.
Damped?
No, not damp. Not wet. It's not wet. It's just a little bit more precisely calibrated so that the impact does not come up through the shock absorbers and into the cabin and into my butt. Is that a more precise way of saying it?
Sure, we'll go with that. That's
right.
fine.
All right.
Yeah, I like this car a lot. I really do think it's full of features. So both of these cars, if you want more of an affordable model, they both start about 26 grand.
Yep.
And they go all the way up to, in this case, about 40 grand, right?
Yep.
So you have a huge variety of all-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive engines, options in here. And you know, 40 grand is a lot of money, but you definitely get what you pay for. Adaptive cruise control, dual zone automatic climate, just like the Mazda. You get your partial digital center display. It's just a matter of, do you want the more sporty, fun to drive one in the Mazda, or the more utilitarian, roomy, but in some ways kind of more suited for road trip family vehicle?
Well, there's only one way to find out, Tommy, and that is to park them next to each other and let our loyal viewers know whether they should buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it. If it were your money, would you buy, lease, rent, or forget the Mazda or the Santa Fe?
I'd probably lease the Mazda and buy the Santa Fe. I just like the extra size and comfort in the Hyundai.
Yeah, I'm with you. You nailed it. That is exactly right. As always, this is Roman.
And Tommy, head over to tflcar.com for more Mazda versus Hyundai reviews.
And coming up on Sunday, we're doing something really fun with the two leading vehicles in the segment.
Yeah, we're taking the Toyota RAV4 hybrid and the Honda CR-V hybrid, and we're mashing them up the world's toughest electric car test.
Yep, and that is coming up Sunday, so come right back to TFL Car, or subscribe, or smash that button, whatever the hell that means. See you guys next time. Ciao.